our chats list, the real question that we need to ask the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling podcast is, can any of us here smell what the Rock is
It
cooking?
doesn't matter if you smell.
Oh my goodness, it doesn't.
But it's things like that. It doesn't matter.
And then he
Why
freaking
you
matches.
You were talking trash about Drew McIntyre the other day.
I was.
Easy.
Okay, no, I was just saying he's not number one pick contention.
That's not true.
I mean, but
Okay, stop this violence.
All right.
No more Russell on Russell violence. Unless I'm doing it.
that's funny. All right. So, anyways, Rock stuff.
So you had a B+ on Raw, B- on SmackDown, had a B+ and a B. You want to know what show got an absolute S+ in my opinion?
SCP, that's the one.
That's right. Squared Circle Pro's Tornado Slam. What a show. From start to finish. Damn.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We had, so are we seeing a shift to all your heavyweight stuff on Raw and your high-flying luchador stuff on SmackDown?
I can tell you that is charcuterie because Ricochet is on Raw.
Okay. It's not shark.
That is a bunch of shark.
All right.
Well, yeah. With that, we're at.
Of course, everybody knows.
I don't know.
As everybody knows, we've got BCW Wild Horses in Wilson, Texas, coming up on February 3rd. And in preparation for that, next week, live on the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling podcast, we will have the one, the only, Exodus Prime as our special guest. AEW star wheelhouse. So all I can say is Los Crudos better bring everything they've got because this is going to be a fight.
I'll say I'm pretty sure I've only heard of like one Texas death match, and didn't David Arquette like almost die?
Did you just talk about
Good
David Arquette?
Lord.
Did you bring David Arquette into a wrestling podcast?
I said, didn't he almost die? Like,
So I'm curious because I'm like, how are they gonna make someone? Because all the promos they've done to build him up, I'm like, the way that Sammy's been taking shots for Roman Reigns, the only real shot he's given back is a shot with the chair, and then he just got mollywopped. He's never been the guy who just comes out and messes people up.
What do you get?
And can overpower Roman Reigns. What?
What do you get?
Wally mopped, obviously.
Before we get into it, there's been a little controversy, I've come to find out, so I'm going to have to address it real quick. Apparently, last week I said some things about our new WWE, the United States champion Logan Paul that upset some people. So I'm going to set the record straight. Logan Paul as a guy, not a fan. As a wrestler, I can honestly say, and I've said it before, he hasn't had a match yet that hasn't been just an absolute banger. So as a wrestler, I've got respect for the guy. Like, I don't understand. He's got all this stuff going on, and I don't understand all these people that just run out and try to support everything he does. And, they try to get their prime drinks all the time. And, oh, that's good.
And even beat him. Sorry to say, but he's a legend. But to be the best, you must beat the best, And I feel like I can beat him. So Chavo, I'm calling you out. I said, come on.
There it is. Chavo Guerrero. Right there. You heard it. Emilio Guzman calling you out, and I'm not gonna lie. Love Chavo to death, but Team Emilio right here, that's where I have to go.
We need to talk about that.
Tickle.
That's how the saying goes.
What? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, tickle, tickle. I think, Rick, be concerned if he ever comes to you talking about tickle, tickle.
Hey,
I don't.
All right.
I'm not sure what's going on there.
At the hour and a half mark, I think we've gotten a little.
Is going to be the year for West Texas wrestling, especially at Squared Circle Pro. But July 19th, that is going to be an event that you will not want to miss under any circumstances, because I am dead set.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am the tutorial boss, your host, Guapo. With me, the man himself, Mr. BCW, Mike Caldwell. Mike, what's up, brother?
Man, just living the dream. That's all we can do right now.
I'm saying that's what it's all about. And can we talk for just a second about how great it is to be a wrestling fan right now after everything that's happened in the past week? Man, oh man.
It's definitely been an interesting week in the world of professional wrestling.
It has indeed, and we're going to talk all about it. Before we do, a few thank yous I want to throw out there. I want to say thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12. They do our intro, outro music. Track's called Head Rush. Album's called Monsters. You got to check these guys out. Every song on that album is a banger. They're working on their next album. They got music videos going on. You can check out everything they have going on at labor12.com. That's laborxii.com. I want to say a big thank you to Joseph and the boys from American Legacy for providing us with Not Your Average merch. What am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about our Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast hats. We've got beanies, we've got skull caps, and very, very soon we have got the Click All the Things Not Your Average Mark t-shirt, with one already in reserve for Rick, because he tells me every time. So Rick, yours is in reserve. I promise you. I want to say a big thank you to J-Rebs 3D Printing, my boy Cameron over in California. You see this little bit of awesomeness right here, this Not Your Average Mark color changing sign, light box. It is absolutely amazing. My boy Cameron does this. If you've got a logo or you've got an idea that you think would look really cool lit up, you need to get a hold of my boy Cameron. You can find him at jrebs3dprinting.com. He will hook you up, and when you get to the site, you order your light box, you tell him Guapo sent you. I want to say a big thank you to heckyeahradio.com. If you go to heckyeahradio.com after the podcast, don't do it now because we're doing a podcast right now. If you go after the podcast, heckyeahradio.com, there'll be a button up at the top that says Not Your Average Mark. If you've missed a podcast, if there's something you wanted to hear, didn't get the opportunity to, you can go to heckyeahradio.com, click that button, and get all of our audio podcasts. So you want to make sure you check that out. I want to say a thank you to Blind Ambition Studios for all our awesome graphics. Every time you look on socials and you see some badass graphic on there, that's Blind Ambition Studios. Lil just hooks it up. So if you have some graphic needs, check out Blind Ambition Studios. They'll get you taken care of. Of course, I want to thank the guy making everything happen. You know, he's behind the scenes, but he makes it all work. Big thank you to him. And one of the things that he and I have collaborated on, by collaborated, I said, hey, could you do this? And he did it. NotYourAverageMark.com. That's right. We have a website now. It's awesome. I love it. He did a great job on it. You can get the live podcast. You can get our video podcasts, you know, all the ones in the past. You can get the audio podcast. You can buy your merch right there on the website. So when we're done tonight, if you haven't done it yet, head over NotYourAverageMark.com. Check it out. It is an awesome site, and the guy hooked it up. So big thank you to him for that. All right, Mike, let's get into this thing.
Well, I got one more thank you that we should do. It's not necessarily a direct thank you, but it's kind of an indirect thing. Thank you to Office Depot, because by mistake,
Talk to him about it.
Well, he's about to go. He instead of telling you, we're going to show you. By mistake, we went to go get posters printed out, and I was doing the favor of getting the boys from Not Your Average Mark some cards while I was there. And by mistake, they ended up blowing up some 11 by 17 posters of the Not Your Average Mark stuff. All you got to do is click on that little QR code right there, and it'll send you to everything. Click all the things there.
That's right. Click all the things. You know, it says so right here at the top. Click all the things. But one thing about these things that a lot of people don't know about, let's turn that around. And we've got Red Ribbon Entertainment, and you know, this is kind of a new thing going on. I'm excited about it. Mike, tell us a little bit about Red Ribbon Entertainment.
Well, Red Ribbon Entertainment is a collaboration between me and the person that we have that's doing our public relations for BCW. That's Crystal Kirk, and we have gone together, and we were doing DJ services, weddings, quinceañeras, any kind of little parties, and we're actually doing karaoke.
You see, it doesn't get any better than that. So if you're in the Levelland, Lubbock area, be looking out for Red Ribbon Entertainment and any events they might have going on, because it's always going to be a good time. There's no question about that. So make sure you check them out. Red Ribbon Entertainment on Facebook, yes?
Yes.
Okay, Red Ribbon Entertainment on Facebook. Make sure you check them out as well. Now, we're going to drop into this week in wrestling, and we're going to start with SmackDown. I thought this was a great show as far as a go home show for Clash at the Castle. Like, I thought it was really good. We had Naomi going against Chelsea Green. In the chat, Rick said golf clap. I got to give it for Chelsea Green. She puts people over. She elevates things, much like I talked about AJ Styles before. Chelsea Green elevates anybody she's in the ring with, whether it's Piper Niven. In this case, it was Naomi. Whoever she's in the ring with, she elevates them, and she did a good job here. Of course, Naomi comes away with the win. But the cool thing about this, with Piper Niven going in to Clash at the Castle to go up against Bayley, you could hear in the crowd people booing Chelsea Green, but cheering for Piper Niven. And Chelsea Green played right into that, making sure that, Piper Niven got the push, like got the crowd behind her. And kudos to her for that. I think that was awesome.
Indeed. Chelsea Green is actually a master of several different things, but she definitely has the capabilities of making the crowd do what she wants them to do.
No, absolutely. And that's the mark of a true talent, is to hold the crowd in the palm of your hand and make them do whatever you want them to. So I'm all about Chelsea Green right now. But again, Naomi gets the win on this one. We had kind of a return match, Apollo Crews versus Santos Escobar. We were supposed to have Apollo Crews against a different member of Legado. You'll have to forgive me, as we've had so much go on this week. I forgot what happened last week. But Apollo Crews gets jumped by Olive Legado, and that match doesn't happen. So this is kind of a return match. Good match from Apollo Crews. Like, I don't hear his name enough, and he put on a show out there, and Santos Escobar took every bit of it. Santos coming away with the win after this, and of course there was a Legado beatdown that, that's just kind of par for the course at this point. But I dig what they're doing with Apollo Crews. He doesn't get enough attention, in my opinion.
Yes, absolutely. Apollo Crews, yes, tremendous talent, former Intercontinental Champion. Just starting to make his way back onto TV and doing things on the main roster again after being in NXT for so long. So I'm looking forward to seeing what more things happen with Apollo.
I am too. It's good to see him back on the main roster, and I'm excited to see where he goes. We had DIY on the Grayson Waller effect. Anytime you put DIY out there, it's great. Period. End of story. It is what it is. Gargano and Ciampa, they have a chemistry like no other, and I love what they did here. They come out and they're like, we're coming after your belts, and they plant that little seed out there. We're good, but what about you guys? Because y'all seem to be having some problems, which Grayson Waller vehemently denied. Said, no, we're good. We're partners. That's what we do. We take care of each other. Said that Austin Theory, took that suicide dive for him to save him, and they called him on it, showed the beautiful bean footage, and by the end of the match, or it wasn't even a match, by the end of the Grayson Waller effect, Austin Theory took not one but two knees to the head, both of which intended for Grayson Waller, and was on the ground. And I like the way that they're building this split. I think it's awesome. And I think Austin Theory is going to go over huge whenever he turns on Grayson Waller. No question.
Absolutely. It's gonna be really bittersweet because Austin Theory is such a talent. I don't know. The words escape me right now as far as how to describe it, but Theory it's going to be. I mean, I'm enjoying what he's doing. The A-Town Down Under right now. I mean, yes, we're getting ready for a breakup, and Austin Theory looks like he's leaning towards the babyface model of the whole deal, which is good because I think that's going to be his rocket moment to where he's going to end up he's going to get some serious TV time, and it's well deserved.
And I'm going to throw this out there, and correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say I've heard you tell me this before. Austin Theory, former BCW talent, yes?
Yes, we had him on one show.
Okay. So, you've gotten the opportunity to be around Austin Theory, absolute rising star. And, he's kind of gone up, hit that plateau, and I feel like he's fixing to skyrocket, and I'm about it. Looking over at the chat, Rick saying, as far as Apollo Crews goes, I wish they'd send him to TNA for a bit, repackage him under his original indie moniker, which is UA Nation, then bring him back as a fresh guy. I could see it. Like, I mean, I'm not 100%. That's not part of the plan. Apparently, I got Rick to do a spit take because of the beautiful bean footage. That's what we do around here. We do cool things like that. We had Mia Yim going up against the Queen, Her Highness Nia Jax. I almost said Nia Jax. Of course, she gets the win in this. But it's kind of the same thing with Mia Yim. I'm glad to see her back. Like, she went to NXT for a little bit. She's back on main roster, and I'm happy to see it. She's such a good talent. And Nia Jax, this run for her has been outstanding. Like, I was not a Nia Jax fan her first run. She worked stiff. She hurt people. I was not a fan. But this run she's having has been absolutely awesome. It's been great to watch.
Indeed, it has. And if you'll notice, she's starting to slim down a little bit.
She is,
and the movement's getting faster. She's still very impactful, but there's less of her to watch.
There is. I don't mean that. She is. It's just crazy, just the agility she has, her ring presence. But not only that, like, she is carrying this Queen moniker to a T. Like, this was perfect for her. I think winning Queen of the Ring was an absolute must, because she's doing the regal, I'm the queen, worship me thing. Great.
Yes.
So we had AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes out talking. I got to give it to AJ Styles. I've never been one for AJ Styles on the mic. Like he's a great wrestler. I can't give him enough flowers for his in-ring work. But not real keen on his mic work. But I give it to him in this. You know, he looks Cody in the face and says, you know, you challenged me to an I Quit match. You quit WWE. You quit TNA. You quit, or Impact, excuse me. You quit Impact. You quit Ring of Honor. You started another company and you quit that too. And you're going to challenge me to an I Quit match. I quit is all you know how to say. And even when Cody tried to get it back and says, I'm going to make you say, I quit. AJ was right there to say, see how natural that sounds coming out of your mouth? I can't quit being phenomenal. 100% happy with this. AJ Styles had the greatest promo. I loved it.
Oh, both of those two are very top level, top shelf guys. And I mean, AJ's been in the business for a long time. 25 years or better.
Oh yeah.
And you know, you would think he'd learn a thing or two because of the people that he's been around in every locker room that he's actually been in.
I almost wonder if it's a situation where they turned him loose on the mic, as opposed to just, you know, okay, go out there and say this. Go out there and talk trash to Cody.
With the Triple H regime, there has been a little bit less or looser stipulations as far as people goes. During Vince McMahon, everybody was handed a script and they said, okay, you're saying this verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
I believe now it's more bullet points rather than just okay, this is what you got, and gives them a little bit more of a free reign, especially these main event guys that can go out there, and it seems like they mean it more when it comes natural from them, instead of feeling like they have to read.
No, and that's what I love about it. It's more organic, it's more natural, and by being more organic, it comes across that way. It comes across as he wasn't AJ Styles saying these things. It was AJ and Cody talking trash to each other, and it came across as natural, and I dug it. I dug it a lot. Looking over at the chat, Aaron saying, what about the hints that were happening, the stuff Uncle Howdy did at the end? This whole Uncle Howdy thing has been such a trip to follow, and I've enjoyed it. Like, you know, when Bray Wyatt did the White Rabbit stuff, I like that. I thought it was cool, just little things in the background. But this took on a whole new thing. Like, you know, the QR codes, the messages, takes you to this website, takes you to this, click on this. There was a point where you had at the bottom of one of the websites that the QR codes would take you to, you had 2008-2024. And you could click on 2008 and it took you to something. You could click on 2024 and it took you. You could click on the dash and it took you to something. Like, there were so many little hidden things all over the place. And I know myself as a fan, I've been waiting, and I want to see what they're going to do with the Wyatt Six. And we are going to get into that with Raw. We're not quite there yet, but we are going to get into that. Rick saying everyone is getting over organically now. I agree, Rick, and it's made things so much better, so much more fun to watch. Rick also saying there were whole YouTube channels dedicated to following the QR codes. If you watch YouTube, if you watch TikTok, there's no platform you could be on that there wasn't somebody talking about the QR codes. And they played it perfectly. I mean, I believe when I talked to Rick, he told me it was like 80 days of buildup. 80 days from the first QR code to this past Raw. And it was worth every second.
Indeed.
Well, we have our final match for SmackDown, Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa. Now, I know what you're expecting. You're expecting, no way Kevin Owens is going to win this because Solo's got the bloodline, except that he doesn't. Earlier in the night, the Street Profits tell Kevin, we got your back, man. You had our back. We got your back. It's all good. Right up until the Gorillas of Destiny just put a whooping on him, like seek medical attention kind of whooping. And so right before the match, as Solo's getting ready to come out, he's stopped by one Nick Aldis who says, oh, by the way, forgot to tell you, they're banned from the ring. And if they show up, if I see them during the match, you're all suspended. Period. Have a great day, head of the table. And walks up. I love Nick Aldis. I loved his interactions when Roman was there. I love it with Solo. It's great. So Paul Heyman looks at Solo and says, look, as your wise man, I feel like I need to tell you, if you lose this match, you lose any kind of leadership you have from even the people that don't see leadership now. And Solo says, no, if I lose this match, I take it out on you. Which, again, we need like an Oscar nomination for Paul Heyman and his facial features in this whole Bloodline saga because it's outstanding. I love it. So we get into the match. It's very back and forth. Kevin Owens comes out like a fireball because that's what Kevin Owens does. Took a long time for Solo to even get into the match because Kevin was just on him and on him and on him to the point there was a pin and it was over. 100%. That was done. 1, 2. Before we get to 3, Paul Heyman pulls Solo's foot on the ropes and says, hey, look, not so much to save the match for Solo, but to save his own ass. No question about that.
Yes, indeed.
Well, Kevin rolls out of the ring, grabs a hold of Paul. Solo hits him with the spike, gets him in the ring, gets the 1, 2, 3, and immediately, as soon as the bell rings, here comes the Gorillas and just lay the whooping to him. And what happens? Randy Orton's music. Nothing makes a crowd pop like hearing Randy Orton's music start. It was awesome.
Indeed.
So there you have it. That's SmackDown. I personally, I'm going to give it a B. I thought it was a good go-home show. I've seen some better, but it was solid. I give it a B.
I'm going to give it a B plus.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm going to give it a B plus is because it helped with them doing the live events in the area that they're doing the PLEs the following night. We're actually getting explanations of why certain characters are nearby. And it
True.
helps to lead in foreshadowing.
No, I agree with that. That's a very valid point. So I got the B. Mike's got the B plus. Solid show from SmackDown, taking us into Clash at the Castle. Kind of surprised me with this one by starting off with Cody and AJ. Like, I was not expecting that to be the first match. I'm not going to lie. I was honestly expecting it to either be the last match or right before. But they start the night off, or well, I say night. It's night for them. It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon for us. But they start off with Cody and AJ. It's the I Quit match for the Undisputed Championship. Great match. Like, I dug what they did with it. We saw a side of Cody we have not seen before, and that is the enraged, I'm going to kill you, Cody.
Yes. The fact that, it was and whenever Cody got to that point, got to that extra gear where he was, he had the steps there. AJ quits so he doesn't get hit with the steps. He looks at Cody, looks at Mama, looks back at AJ, looks at Mama, and just levels Izzy.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
But it goes to the deal, and it tells the story that Cody is willing to do the things that it takes to make sure that he's not a pushover.
Well, and I think that it takes the Cody Rhodes character and starts to define, we've seen Cody Rhodes. We've seen the sign everything for the kids, give over the belt, the super 80s good guy, Cody Rhodes. I think we're starting to get some of the American Nightmare now. Rick just said it in the chat. Cody is, after all, the American Nightmare. And I think we're starting to get some of the American Nightmare as opposed to the, I'm an 80s good guy. I'm for it. I like it. When you talk about when he looked at Mama Rhodes, I like that they're still involving Mama Rhodes, not just for what it was in the match, because she slapped the dog out of AJ Styles like 3 times. Just setting that aside, they're doing a good job in keeping Mama Rhodes involved, because when I see Mama Rhodes, the first thing that clicks in my mind, even with the match going on, when they show Mama Rhodes, it's The Rock. I'm going to give you this bloody tear-stained belt. So it keeps that fresh in your mind without The Rock having to be there. Because, of course, at some point we're going to Cody versus The Rock. So Mama Rhodes being there from time to time just kind of drops that memory. Oh, yeah, by the way, don't forget. So I think the involvement of Mama Rhodes was good. And when he looked over at her holding the don't tell me what to do. When he looked over at Mama Rhodes, he said, "Should I do it?" And Mama Rhodes said, "Do it." He says, "Should I do it?" And she said, "Yes." So hits AJ with the stairs anyway while he's handcuffed to the middle rope. So it was outstanding. Great match. Of course, AJ says, "I quit." Match is over. Still gets hit with the steps. So it was awesome. Got to say what's up in the chat to Jessica. Jessica, what's up? Glad you can make it to the show. And you don't tell me what to do. Long-standing
Inside joke.
I'll explain it sometime on the podcast, but long-standing joke there. So we go out of that match. We go to the triple threat match for the women's tag titles. All 3 teams got a real good opportunity to shine in this. Of course, you had Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. You had Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Hometown girls, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. I think it's Alba Fire that was actually from Glasgow. So, and then, of course, you have your champs, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. Each team got the chance to shine, but in my opinion, there's going to be an asterisk beside this match moving forward. Because Jade got put in the, the Karafuda clutch, and
yes.
She tapped. I'm sorry. I know, like, I've heard from you and I've heard from Rick that she was reaching. Watch it again. She tapped. I ain't reaching for nothing when I do that. I'm saying stop it. Jade tapped. So there's going to be an asterisk there, but I was happy to see that the hometown girls got the win. It was a big thing for being at a show in Scotland to have the Glasgow girl win the title. It was awesome. I agree with what they did, but this is going to go for the Jade tapping thing is going to be a thing. I'd watch. Oh, I'm thinking we may have frozen up a little bit with Rick, so I'm going to keep going here.
Shayna Baszler did actually mention on Monday.
She did. Yeah, Rick said it in the chat that
Testing,
Shayna
1, 2.
referenced it on Monday. And I didn't get it the way I wanted it. I'm not going to lie. I had this picture in my head of the girls out in the ring celebrating their win and them coming out and saying, you know, congratulations on the win you didn't get. You want to know why? And again, with the beautiful bean footage showing the tap, Shayna Baszler says, you didn't win, I won. And that going into a match between them again. And let's not count out Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. I mean, they're going to want their rematch at some point as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We go from that into Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable for the IC title. This is some of the best storytelling in the game right now. I am all about this. Like, I really didn't. It was a good match. Don't get me wrong. Sami Zayn, you know, he's the beloved underdog always. Even when he's the champion, he's the beloved underdog. And you're not going to get a better technical wrestler than Chad Gable. Like, he is Kurt Angle personified. Like, he is one of the greatest technical wrestlers doing it right now. And even though that I can say all these great things about them, that cool, they're having a match. I wanted to see what was happening in the story. You have, you know, the whole thing with Otis. You have, and the way Chad's always blaming Tozawa and blaming the Alpha Academy in general for everything. Like, he takes no parts of responsibility for his losses himself. And Otis has told, through this whole thing, he has told an entire story and hasn't said a word. He's told the entire story through his face, his facial expressions. And I thought this was going to be it. I thought this is where we were going to see, you know, him rip Chad Gable's arms off and beat him with them. Alas, no, that wasn't the case. We did see Chad Gable go through and Wyatt, her name is escaping me.
You talking about I just had it too.
I'm not the only one.
Dupree.
What's that?
Dupree.
Yes, Maxine Dupree. Thank you. Sammy does a drop toe hold on Chad Gable. Chad falls into Maxine Dupree, who's already got a boot on and a crutch. Or, well, no, she didn't have the crutch. She just had the boot. But she's hurt. Otis picks her up, is carrying her to the back. And, you know, he walks away, and Chad Gable's like, where are you going? I told you to stay out here, and turns around to find Sammy's foot right here with a haluva kick. And 1, 2, 3, match is over. IC title retained, and Sammy made it very clear. That's it. That was your last chance. So they're not happy about that. We go from that into Bayley versus Piper for the women's title. And I was excited about this. Piper Niven, of course, a hometown girl, grew up 40 miles away from the arena. And she has always been good. She just they haven't found until this point, they haven't found the place to give her the push that would allow her to show what she can do. And this was absolutely it. She has 100% proven herself as a main event contender. But I do have to say, Bayley got the win in this. And that crucifix bomb that she did, awesome. Let's go. I loved it.
Indeed. Yeah.
I'm going to have to stop you just a second, Mike. Got to say what's up to Stitch Artemis 21. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you being here.
Hey, right on. But yeah, Piper excelled in this event. You know, she had the hometown crowd. She was, but between, I mean, they both really put it on there. And honestly, I think that was my favorite match of the whole thing.
It was match of the night, no question. And I think the thing I loved about it most was even though Bayley won the match, Piper didn't lose a damn thing. Like, she has gained everything, even with a loss in this match, and I love that. Stitch Artemis says, you're welcome. I had a friend that did security for y'all. Awesome. When they do the women's IC title, Piper needs to be the first champ. And that is something they're looking at doing, is an intercontinental championship for the women as well. So they'll have that mid-range belt to go for it, same as the guys. And I don't disagree. I think Piper should be the first women's IC champ. Absolutely. So that takes us to the match everybody was waiting for. Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Drew's at home. He's got an entire Scottish band that walks out in front of him. The crowd goes nuts. It was awesome. And Drew came out like a firehouse. Like, I mean, he was all over Priest. Probably the craziest part of the match, Priest gets his ankle wrapped up in the ropes, and two things happened there. I thought he broke his ankle. I really did. The way his foot turned when he was in there, I thought he broke his ankle, and I thought he went face first into the ring. Like, they've showed it a few times now. I've gotten the opportunity to rewatch it, and he does get his arm down and catch himself before his face meets the metal. So, but it was a scary moment in that. We got a ref bump, because of course we got a ref bump. Is there anybody out there who, when this ref bump happened, didn't think, well, here comes CM Punk? Because I did.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
that
was
the immediate thought.
Yep, here comes CM Punk. So Drew's got Damian pinned, and they could have counted to 30 if they wanted to, and it would have been, Damian wasn't getting up. So here comes the new ref. He's running down the ramp. He slides in. 1, 2. It doesn't matter if I count to 3. Sits up, gives the same pose Drew gave. I don't know how many people caught this, but it's the same pose Drew gave in the shirt with the tombstone, talking about CM Punk's WrestleMania dreams, where he's sitting here like, knelt down like this. Gave him the exact same pose. And Drew lost his mind and the match, because Damian Priest hits the South of Heaven. Game over. Priest retains. Drew McIntyre is livid. And it took Wade Barrett to talk him down and get him to go to the back.
About that pose, not only was it the pose that Drew did, but also rewind back several years to whenever CM Punk's wife came in as a special referee and did the same thing to CM Punk.
That's true.
It was the exact same pose.
I hadn't thought about that. That's true. Okay. See, taking it back a little bit there. I dig it. Looking over at the chat, Stitch Artemis says we keep freezing up. Got the guy looking into that right now, find out what's happening there, see if we can't make that stop.
We are
all in all,
experiencing a little bit of weather out here where we're at.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of weather going on, and I don't think it's going to knock it down, but it may give a little bit of lag. All in all, solid A for a Clash at the Castle. I thought it was great. I thought it accomplished everything it needed to accomplish, and the main thing that I enjoyed about this was they got the involvement of their Scottish talent without making the show about their Scottish talent. Stitch Artemis saying he lives in London. What I'm looking at on that, Stitch, is that the guy lives in Leveland, as does Mike. So we've got a little bit of a storm going on in Leveland. So if the guy's internet catches some flack, then the whole show does. So want to say thank you to Neen6987. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate you being here. But yeah, all in all, say what?
I was saying, awesome. Welcome.
All in all, absolute A for me for Clash at the Castle.
And I will completely second that A, because it was, yeah, I really enjoyed the Clash at the Castle.
Well, you see, Artemis, there's several type of pie. Stitch Artemis asking me if I like pie. There's several types of pie. There's
Hey, family show.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Family guidelines. My bad. Can't go there. But yeah, I do. Thank you for asking. Yeah. You got pumpkin pie. You've got peach pie. I'm not gonna do it. Y'all all know where I'm going with it. Before we get into Raw, I want to take a second to, of course, thank everybody in the chat. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for being a part of this. If you haven't done it yet, go hit the socials, click the likes, click the follows, the subscribes, the bells, the whistles, click all the things. It helps us out and lets us know who's out there, so we can do all sorts of things for our viewers. And if we know where our viewers are, we can take care of that. Again, with it.
And here's another thing: the more we comment in the chat, the more follows that we have. Any of that, you can give a review. These things go out to the podcast to podcast platforms as well. Give these things a review. It'll put more eyes on this product and get us to that next level.
It will, and it helps us out so much. And so we appreciate everybody that's here. We appreciate everybody that's watching, of course, you guys that are watching live. But if you're watching after the show, if you're listening on the audio podcast, if you're watching right now on NotYourAverageMark.com, thank you so much for your interaction with us. Aaron Marie saying, I just went and followed both of you as well as the show, so all three. Thank you so much, Aaron. It helps us so much. Thank you for doing that. Well, let's get into Raw, because there is some stuff to unpack there. I'm going to say right now, they took a Seth freaking Rollins shaped brick and set it on the gas pedal and never took it off. That's what Raw was on Monday. What am I talking about? The very first thing that happens on Raw, Seth freaking Rollins makes his return. Of course, Damian Priest had a few things to say to him. The crowd absolutely loving it, singing his song. You know how it happens. But Damian Priest had a few things to say, and it was interesting the way he went about it, because Damian Priest says, I wanted to cash in on you. Like, welcome back. Seriously, no bad will, no nothing bad. Seriously, welcome back. I wanted to cash in on you. I didn't want to cash in the way I did. I wanted to cash in on you because I wanted to beat you. And so Seth is talking about doing Money in the Bank, climbing the ladder, get the briefcase. And Damian Priest tells him, let's skip the ladder. Let's skip the briefcase. At Money in the Bank, me and you, let's do this. And Seth's like, no, because you're going to have all your guys come out and jump me. He's like, no, man to man, one-on-one, me and you. And, of course, Seth thinks about it for a second, says, I accept, and walks out to his music. That's how you start Monday Night Raw.
Yes. Was a very good segment. It was really a little bit out of character for Damian Priest to do this. But
it was.
With everything in mind, if Damian Priest is to get past Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank, then we have Gunther at SummerSlam. So yes, at that point, by default, he's going to be considered the babyface in that. So with everything, he is giving little bitty babyface tendencies throughout this whole thing. So it's something that we're gonna it's building. And that's a good thing.
And you kind of got to hope that Damian Priest does win the match with Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins has a tiny little chest that's going to get caved in by Gunther if he wins. Like, seriously.
but also, really and truly, it doesn't necessarily make sense for Seth to win and then turn around right around and lose.
It's true, it doesn't. So we'll get more into it when we talk Money in the Bank predictions, but I really do feel like I feel like that one either goes to a schmoz ending or you get Damian Priest going over. Because I can't see bring Seth back, give him the match, have him lose.
Artemis, yes, I like lasers.
Lasers. All right, so these matches aren't going to be in any kind of order. I typed up my notes as I was remembering matches. We had Braun Strowman versus Chad Gable, and this came about because Chad Gable went to Adam Pearce and said, "I need a rematch. I didn't beat Sami Zayn. I need to go against Sami Zayn again." And he was told, there's a lot of people that want to go against Sami Zayn, so why don't you go on to the back of the line? Which Chad Gable was not happy about, yelled at Tozawa about it. And he said, "You know what? Give me a match. Give me a match. I got this." Adam Pearce gets the Adam Pearce look and goes, "Yes, I will. I got you." So Chad Gable goes out. He's waiting for his opponent, and out walks Braun Strowman, the monster of monsters. It is crazy. Chad Gable does not seem happy about this. I can't imagine why. But Braun Strowman comes out and just annihilates Chad. Chad gets some good moves in, but you're going against Braun Strowman. You're not going to do that. And there's a couple of points at which Braun Strowman tells the Alpha Academy, "You don't have to listen to this guy. You don't have to take this." And he's got Chad Gable up on the ropes and says, "I hate bullies," and just decks him and knocks him to the floor. So when it's all said and done, Braun Strowman gets the win. And Chad Gable calls the Alpha Academy and starts yelling at Tozawa, and Maxine Dupree steps in. I remembered her name this time. Maxine Dupree steps in, and Chad Gable takes her crutch and throws it out, tells her to leave, and then slaps Tozawa. Otis is not looking at this point. He's got his back to everything, but he's looking down at the floor, and as soon as he slaps Tozawa, Otis turns around and just throws him into the corner. Like, Chad Gable got air going to the corner from Otis pushing him. And the crowd went nuts for it, of course. And I really thought this was going to be the part where he just goes off, but he didn't. He went to the back. He helped Maxine and Tozawa to the back. And Chad Gable's left going, "You can't do this. You're done when I tell you you're done." So we get that. We got Kiana James and Zelina Vega and Io Sky in a women's Money in the Bank qualifying match. This was a good match. I dug it. Like, Zelina Vega doesn't get enough flowers, in my opinion. The 619 she does to the knees, I love it every time she does it. I think it's awesome. Of course, Io Sky, former women's champion, former tag team champion. Like, she is a force in the ring, and Kiana James making herself well known since being brought up to the main roster. So I like the fact that we got to see all of these ladies do their thing. Of course, Liv comes out and interrupts Zelina, and she had on a very familiar vest. Just gonna throw that out there. One that I think Dominic Mysterio was looking for somewhere. But this gave Io Sky time to get the pin on Kiana James. Io Sky wins the match, qualifies for women's Money in the Bank. It was a good match. I dug it. What do you think about it, Mike?
I thought it was a really good match. There was a lot of things that went really fast at the end. And I kind of blinked and I missed it, so I had to go back and watch it again. But yeah, it was a very well executed match, and it's giving a story. And my belief is that Zelina is going to end up doing something to either get a second chance, or she's going to go directly into the match with Liv at Money in the Bank.
And I'm about it. I want to see them two go at it. I think it'll be great. It'll be an awesome match. Speaking of Zelina Vega, she of course part of LWO. Another member of LWO, Dragon Lee, going up against Carlito. This is of course a return match as well. Carlito, I don't remember how far back it was, but took out Dragon Lee because he was upset that he didn't get chosen to be Ray's partner. Dragon Lee did. So he takes Dragon Lee out, and this is Dragon Lee's chance to finally get back at him. Good match. A lot of good back and forth and all of that. What we end up with is the LWO and the Judgment Day. And I really am interested to see if they go somewhere with that. I mean, I know Judgment Day bringing in Carlito kinda gives that option. So I'm interested to see where they go.
Well, I just really hope that the LWO gets a little bit higher on this staircase of factions, because right now I feel like they're down here at the bottom, and then everybody else is up there on top of that, because of the fact that, you know, it just seems like, I mean, believe it or not, wins and losses do matter.
Yes, they do.
And, you know, right now, the males in the LWO are not the brightest crayons in the box. I mean, they're not getting their shine. They're not getting their flowers.
We've got Aaron in the chat saying, I don't like the stuff they have Dominic doing. I hate that storyline. I get it. It is kind of a weird storyline, but wait for it to play out, because Dominic is he's a part of it right now, but this is all part of Liv and Rhea. And when Rhea comes back, the things that are going to happen. Good Lord. So it's a little crazy right now, Aaron, but give it time, let it cook. I promise you it's going to be a payoff you're going to love. We also had Sami Zayn come out and talk about the fact that Chad Gable ain't getting a chance at this title no more. So it's time to find somebody new. And Braun Breaker's music hits, and you just saw the look on Sammy's face, like, oh crap.
Why did I have to open my big fat mouth?
That is exactly the look that Sami Zayn had. And Braun Breaker comes out and tells him, I'm coming to get your title. It is what it is. Deal with it. Well, Sheamus says, wait a minute. I should have a shot at that title. I've had all the titles except that title, and I think I should have a shot at that title. And Braun Breaker's like, hey, you're just going to come in here and act like I ain't talking? You're going to cut in front of me? And not once, but twice, Sheamus looks Braun Breaker in the face and calls him kid. Not something I would suggest to anybody, but he does. He says, as far as all of this is concerned, you are a kid. So this sets up a match later in the night with Sheamus and Braun Breaker, and it was a hell of a match. Like, I did not expect what we got out of that, because Breaker did everything he could do, and Sheamus just kept getting up. And I hope that I'm able to, like, do half the move around the way that Sheamus does, 3 years from now when I'm his age. It was just insane watching it. And I dig that they're doing this with Sheamus, because, as you know, he keeps having banger after banger after banger. Don't roll your eyes at me.
I'm going to roll my eyes at that whole deal, because I love Sheamus to death. He's a great athlete. He does things, but the way the the negative term on that word just it's worse than nails on a chalkboard for me.
But it's better than Tiffy time.
I don't know. I think I'd rather have Tiffy time than I would rather have Tiffy time, or I would rather listen to What's Up on repeat next to Rick than hear Sheamus talk
Whoa.
about banger after banger after banger.
Okay, calm down. So, wow, that's saying something there. Well, we get the match. Fully expect Braun Breaker to win this match. However, it goes to a no contest because Ludwig Kaiser comes out and attacks Sheamus. So it goes to a no contest. And Braun Breaker is starting to leave after he volleys, I think is the proper word, Ludwig Kaiser into the barrier. He starts to leave, and Kaiser jumps right back on Sheamus, and he slides through the ring, and he's going to do the run around thing and kick him at the steps like he's been doing. Braun Breaker, from the ramp, makes his way down around the other side of the ring and spears Kaiser before he can get to Sheamus. Like, how they make mention of the fact that he runs the ropes at what is like 23 miles an hour.
23 miles an hour.
Well, he was doing at least twice that down the ramp. Like, it was crazy. We had one last match, of course. We had the men's Money in the Bank qualifying match. Jey Uso versus Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor. This match, I wasn't sure what to think about it because I could see things that could happen any of the three ways. Whoever won this match, I kind of figured it would be Jay, but I was also thinking, with the conversation that Judgment Day had earlier, is it going to be Finn and Finn's going to cash in on Damian? Like, where are they going with this? And that's why I love the storytelling that WWE is doing right now. It goes back and forth a lot. Awesome ending to this match where Ray's down. Finn does the coup de grace. And as he's laid down, Jay does the splash, gets the 1, 2, 3 on Finn. Jey Uso is going to Money in the Bank. He's qualified for that. Now, the two big things everybody's talking about for Raw. Number one, Drew McIntyre comes to the ring. Of course, the whole crowd's chanting CM Punk because that's what the crowd does when Drew McIntyre comes out. Drew starts to say something and says, you know what? I can't do this anymore. Screw this company. I quit. Puts the mic down, walks out. What? So, unexpected moment. Not going to lie. I can give my thoughts on it. Like, this is pulling the curtain back a little bit. So if you don't want the curtain pulled back on it, cover your ears for like the next 15 seconds. Drew McIntyre said before Clash at the Castle that his wife was back in the States and having surgery. I 100% believe that Drew's taking time off to be with his wife as she recovers. 100%, I think that's what it is. Do I think that he actually quit? No, I don't.
It's a good way to get him off TV for a little while, let him take care of personal business, and then just when everybody starts to forget about what's going on, then he's going to show back up.
Well, and I don't even think it's going to take that long. I am going to be shocked and appalled all at the same time if he doesn't show up at SmackDown because CM Punk came to his home and screwed him over in front of his people. Well, SmackDown just happens to be in Chicago Friday, tomorrow. So wouldn't it be something if Drew jumped the barrier and embarrassed CM Punk in Chicago? Like, I feel like we get that, and then I feel like we don't see him again until Money in the Bank. Or maybe like Aaron saying we see him again at SummerSlam.
Yep.
That's how I feel that turns out.
I agree. I mean,
Now, the other thing everybody's talking about, the last 4 minutes and 37 seconds of Raw. The Wyatt Six have made their debut. And what a damn debut it was. I didn't know what to think. You know, I really want this to be good. And then the lights go out with the same pattern and the same sound as it did with the Fiend. And I'm thinking, oh no, don't copy. Let's make this different. And then the door's there. And I'm like, oh no, but the door opens and then it's different. And I like that. So you get Abby the Witch comes out, that of course being Nikki Cross. And the grudge brawl that she did, something straight out of a nightmare, man. And the makeup was good, her face looked cracked. I mean, it was awesome. And if you've watched the QR codes in some of the videos, you get the outline of, Abby the Witch or Sister Abigail, and she points like this. Well, that's exactly what she did. And the cameraman, instead of going through the door, went around the door to the backstage. And you see smoke everywhere, real eerie looking. And they pan over, you get bodies on the ground, and you see a very familiar mask as the person standing there is turned around. And it's the Bludgeon Brother mask. It's Luke Harper's Bludgeon Brother mask, and turns around, and we've got our rabbit. This, of course, being Eric Rowan. And the mask was a big deal to me. Having the Bludgeon Brother mask, having the bludgeon, having the hammer. That was so huge for me. Such an homage, and I really dug that. Well, they move across and they get to somebody that I'm pretty sure, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was a production staff, but I'm pretty sure that it was JD McDonough, because you're not going to mistake that forehead. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure it was JD McDonough laid out as they're making their way to Gorilla. Of course, Gorilla's destroyed. Lights flickering all over the place, sparks, blood on the wall, and you get our next person sitting up there, and that, trying to remember who it was, what character it was. Mercy the Buzzard. That, of course, being Dexter Loomis. And I like the way they had everything go there. They move around, and we find Huskus. Huskus, of course, being played by Joe Gacy. And then the camera turns, and there's a light and a figure in the light, which I had forgotten about, but Rick brought to my attention is the same way they debuted Luke Harper on The Other Place. A light behind him and everything. So thought that was really, really cool. And of course, who is it? It's Taylor Rotunda. It's Uncle Howdy, but a redone Uncle Howdy. He's got the dreads. His whole outfit and mask has been redone. He's got one mask on, and one glove on. The Fiend, of course, had gloves that said "Help and Hurt." The one glove just said "Bray," and he starts making his way through. Everybody starts following him. They make their way out to Abby the Witch. He reaches down. He picks up the lantern, and you would expect the crowd to just be going nuts, but it was almost silent. Like, everybody was just like, wow. And he picks up the lantern, says, "We're here," blows it out. That's how we ended Raw. I had chills. What a payoff.
Indeed. It was very epic. Now, now we are tasked with how to make all the explanations for everything next week.
Well, one of the things we saw in all of this, people have said, I think I saw this person, I think I saw that person. Even I say, I think I saw JD McDonough's, 5-head. One of the people we did see for sure leaned up against a production box with blood running off the side of his head was Chad Gable. So I'm interested to see what happens there. Let's see what we've got going on in the chat here.
They've already pulled Gable from the triple next week.
I imagine so, because he's dead. He died. I cried. It was sad. We've got, Neen6987 saying, when they blew out the lantern, I cried. I feel that. I feel that way down deep. That was such a moment. Aaron Marie asking, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Honestly, I don't know what to think is going to happen tomorrow. Are we going to get them? Of course. I think we have the Wyatt 6 on both brands. I just don't know what we're going to see. Like, I don't know what to expect because it was just so wow, So I can't wait to watch SmackDown tomorrow to find out. As far as Raw goes, 100% absolute FDA approved A+.
I'll see your A+. You know what? I'll agree with you. It was good. It was real good.
Maybe one of the best Raws I've seen in recent history.
There was a few things that I didn't necessarily dig 100%, but with how they did everything with the supernatural meets psychological and everything else with what they had with the Wyatt 6, I'm going to say that was extra credit. So I'll give the A+ as well.
Well, and I will say this as far as what I think is going to happen, maybe not tomorrow, but with the Wyatt 6, I don't think they're going to go so much of a supernatural angle as more of a cult. There is more of a cult angle. The smoke and everything was very supernatural, no question about that. But I think they're going to move more towards a cult type thing as opposed to a supernatural thing. And let me go ahead and address this now because a lot of people have already brought it up prior to today. Yes, there were not 6 people there. There were 5. No, I don't think Alexa Bliss is the 6th person. I think Bray Wyatt, the spirit of Bray Wyatt, is the 6th person in the Wyatt 6. I think the lantern takes the place of the rocking chair. And I think Bray Wyatt is the 6th member of the Wyatt 6.
I agree.
So now that we've addressed all of that, I want to remind everybody again, if you haven't done so already, go check out the website, check out the socials, click all the things. I do want to say, and I don't usually do this, but this is really awesome. I want to take a second to talk about our boy, Game Time LC Mox. If you've ever watched West Texas wrestling, you've seen LC Mox at some point. He's a hell of a talent, big dude. I can attest to being a big dude because, there was a point at which he did a move off a bar and landed on me. So I can attest to the fact that he's a pretty big guy. Huge opportunity for him. He's going up against Richard Holiday. And you may be asking yourself, why do I know that name? Why do I know Richard Holiday? You'll have to look back a ways. But in MLW, he was in a faction with Alexander Hammerstone and Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And July 12th, LC Mox, Game Time LC Mox has a match against him, and I can't wait to see it. It's looking to see where it's at. He sent me the info on it. Let's see here. You have to excuse me. I got to look at it on my phone. It's at the Haltom Theater, so it's going to be ProWrestlingDallas.com. I'm so excited for Mox on this. What an opportunity. What a match he landed. So Mox, if you're watching this, I told you earlier, I'll tell you again, Mock's already thinking about what he needs to do for this. Says that he's going to have to be on top of his game. And I said it to him. I'll say it, put it out there in the ether. You don't have to. You don't have to be on your game because you are the game. And what can I say except it's game time? So, game time, LC Mox, go get him, man. The podcast is behind you. Not Your Average Mark wishes you the best of luck in your match. July 12th in Haltom City.
Absolutely.
So, speaking about local wrestling and West Texas independent wrestling, we got some shows coming up, and I couldn't be more excited. July 13th, Levelland, Texas, TMW Event Center. We have BCW Hot Blooded, and I'm just going to give you a taste. I'm not even going to put the whole card out there. I'm just going to give you a taste. You have Team Nefarious, that of course being Atticus Wild and TJ Slater, having won the opportunity to do so, going against the Resistance for the BCW Old School Tag Team titles. I'm not sure where to go with this one. Like the Resistance, they have their ways of getting around the ring. Both, Jason Zane, Nathan Briggs, both of them veterans, both of them really good in the ring, but both of them, they have their little moments. But they're in this match with Team Nefarious. TJ Slater, just a beast of a man, and Atticus Wild always in the right place at the right time. So this match for the Old School Tag Team titles is going to be one that you're not going to want to miss. It's going to be outstanding. You got anything to add to that one, Mike?
Well, I mean, once we get closer to the event, I'll end up giving my complete 2 cents about it. But this is going to be a very good contest.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. I think it's going to be a very, how do I word this? It's going to be a very, very complicated match. And I am all about it because these guys are going to have to figure each other out because both teams are just absolutely A-plus stars in the ring. So I'm waiting for this one. Now I'm going to need you, when I announce this next match, Mike, I'm going to need you to remain calm. Remember, this is a family show. The defender of truth, Gabriel Alexander, and your BCW Texas champion, squaring off, putting the belt on the line against the one, the only, the spotlight, Logan Knight. Family show.
Hey, my eyes don't have an inside voice. I apologize.
Of course, telling him to stay calm because the last time we saw the spotlight Logan Knight, it was in the ring with Mike Caldwell, and it was a hell of a match. It was a word I can't say ending. Logan Knight with a chain around Mike's neck, puts him out. Ref doesn't see it. 1, 2, 3. And we have seen the last match in the ring for Mike Caldwell, which again, Mike, awesome match. It was an honor that we got to be there to be a part of that. So we got to see you take your boots off, take your pads off, and leave them there in the ring.
Speaking of that, I know you were hanging around. I can't find those boots.
Really?
Yes. I've looked all over for those boots, and I cannot find them.
They were there. I remember seeing them in the ring, but then we were tearing everything down, and I assumed you had them.
Well, I brought them to the back, and then I went out to start helping get everything torn down, and then magically they're not there anymore.
Well, you know where the mind's, obviously going to go, but we'll just have to see what happens there. Like maybe they turn up at Hot Blooded. That would be something to see. Neen 6987 saying, "Don't get blinded." Rick saying that's rude to take a man's retirement boots. Daddy Boss 74, investigation. You know what? As my wife's younger classes would say, nothing to worry about. Chase is on the case. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna find some boots. The last match I'm gonna announce for this. We've got more matches coming, but this is the last one I'm gonna announce for tonight because this is huge. The living proof, Justin Taylor, BCW heavyweight champion, stepping in the ring with what has to be his biggest challenge ever. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the world breaker, Brick Savage. If you don't know who I'm talking about, when we're done tonight, go to YouTube, look up Brick Savage, and have fun trying to sleep tonight. Because that man is a nightmare. And I am, you know how I feel about Justin Taylor. Justin Taylor, longtime friend of the show. Love that man to death, but this is going to be a big one. So those are just 3 of the matches that are going to be going down in Hot Blooded, July 13th, Levelland, Texas. You can get your tickets right now. You can go to Tobacco Express Liquors. You can get tickets there, or you can go to bcwprowrestling.com. You can pick your tickets up right there on the website, and you are not going to want to miss out on this show. Well, I think I know where you're going. Give me a second.
Okay.
Somebody has asked me, being BCW being a family show, will there be blood? Yes. Yes, there will, because Hot Blooded will be having a blood drive right before the show. I'm going to let Mike tell you more about that, but we will be having a blood drive right before the show.
The blood drive is going to be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Right now, you can go and you can go on to our socials where we have the poster out, and you can actually, there is a QR code that is on the poster that you can go and you can make your appointment to go ahead and donate blood. You donate blood, I give you 2 free tickets to Hot Blooded.
See, does it get any better than that? Save lives, free tickets. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. That's the hashtag for the show tonight. Hashtag save lives, free tickets. Make sure you get your tickets for this. And all hashtags and joking aside, it's such a good cause. I can't tell you how many times we hear about there's a shortage of this type of blood. There's a shortage of this type of blood. And you don't know how many lives you can save just by giving a donation like that. So I do want you you guys to be there. I want you to be at the show, but come early, 10 to 2, hit the blood drive and save a life.
And we will have concessions and refreshments available to for those that donate. We'll go ahead and have everything ready to go for that. So that way, if you need something to go ahead and get your energy back up, we've got you covered.
It's going to be great. Something you don't want to miss. July 13th, Levelland, Texas, TMW Event Center. Get your tickets now. Now we're going to move on a week later. A week later, we get the Battle of the Sexes weekend, the hottest weekend in West Texas Independent Wrestling. Why is it the hottest weekend? Because you get not 1, but 2 nights of just absolute action. So July 19th is Equal Rights and Lefts, which I still love that name. I think it's awesome. I can give you 2 matches. I just got an email over what's going to be happening. So this is all I've been given to put out there. Number 1, you'll be able to see legends Baby Doll, Medusa, and Missy Hyatt. All 3 going to be at Jake's on July 19th. Make sure you don't miss out on that because These are living legends that you'll get the opportunity to meet. We're going to have the Squared Circle Pro West Texas Women's Championship match. Misty Marks, the majestic one. Our champion going up against Anastasia Morningstar. This is going to be one for the books. Misty Marks always puts on a great match, always giving 100%, but Anastasia Morningstar is out for blood. So I am so excited about this match. I think it's going to be great. We have a 2 out of 3 falls bout. Evelyn Carter versus Morgan Mercy. This one's set up at the last show. These two not happy with each other. So we're going to end up with a 2 out of 3 falls match. It's going to be great. Now, listen to this list, and I want you to watch Mike's face as I give this list. These are the people who are signed for the event. I can't give out matches yet, but I can tell you who's signed for the event. Nova Phoenix, Maya World, Skylar Slice, Maserati, Emmy Camacho, Nikki Chase, Olivier Vegas, London Dior, Lindsay Snow, Miranda Gordy, Reza Clark, Ray Lynn, Hyann, Samantha Starr. The list goes on and on. All of these people live in action July 19th for Equal Rights and Lefts. And more names to be announced soon. That's just night 1. That's Friday night. Saturday night, July 20th, you get Headlocks and Heat Waves. This is going to be insane. Like last year's Headlocks and Heat Waves was crazy, and I think this is going to have it topped. Of course, you're going to get your Squared Circle Pro Championship match. We got the opportunity to see this one set up at the end of the last Squared Circle Pro show. Your champion, Sam Stackhouse, with Nolan Phillips, going up against the Thunderbird himself, Damo McCullough. So I'm excited about that one. And then we have a Superstar Showcase. Nobi Bryant. If you've ever seen Nobi Bryant wrestle, you understand why this is called a Superstar Showcase. Stepping in the ring with somebody that we've just talked about, Brick Savage, going up against Nobi Bryant. Brick Savage in town for 2 weekends. BCW against Justin Taylor, going against Nobi Bryant. I don't know if I'll be able to contain myself. Signed for that event, you've got Lamigra, Bobby Venom, the Russell Twins, Phoenix, Angel Camacho, Max Beckett, LC Mox, Baby Samoa, the Riot, Bam Bam Malone, Downfall Cathedral, that's our boys. Brian Rage Rivera, Los Carnales, Lilith Blood, End of the World Party, Tino Valentino. I could just go on and on and on. More names going to be announced soon. Now, here's the kicker for this. $10 a night or $20 for the weekend. Where are you going to find this kind of action for $20 for a weekend? Make sure you pick your tickets up when you get there. Jake's Back Room, July 19th and 20th. Now, there's one more thing I want to talk about on July 19th. This is an all-women's show. And when I say all-women's show, I mean all of the wrestlers, all of the talent are women. All of your ring announcers, female. All of your referees, female. You're a ring announcer. You don't get that goofy-looking dude that you're going to see on Saturday. No, you get a female ring announcer as well. It's an entire female show, and it's the only all-female show in West Texas. So I'm excited about it. Say what?
Female commentators as well.
Female commentators. I mean,
if you are out of town, you can't see it firsthand. It will be available on heckyeahradio.com.
Yes, it will. Both nights. You'll be able to see both nights, heckyeahradio.com. What can I say? It's shaping up to be a crazy July, and I'm here for it. We're coming up on the end of the show, though. So, Mike, as always, I want to turn the mic over to you. Anything you want to say to the people watching, the people listening, the wrestling fandom in general? The floor is yours, my friend.
Get out and follow your local promotions wherever you are. If you're in California, there's a whole bunch of them in California. If you're in Mississippi, there's tons in Mississippi. Wherever you are, search out your local professional wrestling. You will not be disappointed.
Couldn't agree more. Support independent wrestling. Of course, we're big fans of West Texas independent wrestling. That's where our heart is. But if I'm in Dallas, I'm going to look for a Dallas promotion. If I'm in, like you said, if I go visit J-Rev over in California, I'm looking for a California promotion because I want to be there to support indie wrestling. Some of your favorite stars that you see on the big shows, on WWE, on AEW, on TNA, at one point, the majority of them were indie wrestlers. So you never know when you're going to see the next superstar for one of the big shows. We said earlier in the night that, Austin Theory wrestled a match for BCW. Like, you never know who you're going to see at these. And the experience is one you will not forget. I've said it 100 times. It's my drug and I enjoy it. Before we get out of here, I again want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. Everybody that followed tonight, thank you so much. Make sure you go out and click all the things on all the socials. Make sure you're checking out BCW on socials. Make sure you're checking out BCWProWrestling.com. Make sure you're checking out Squared Circle Pro and HeckYeahRadio.com. Come check out our new website because the guy did a hell of a job. NotYourAverageMark.com. So many ways to connect with other wrestling fans, to connect with the wrestling promotions that we all love. Get out there and support. That's my final thought for the night. Just get out there and support. Thank you for supporting us. We love each and every one of you. Do have to add what J-Reb said here at the end of the chat. If you donate on July 13th, if you donate blood, drink water before you drink the beer. Water before beer. Remember that. It's important.
Indeed it is.
I believe that's going to do it for us tonight. We will be back here next Thursday. I will go ahead and let you guys know now. We will not be live on July 4th. July 4th is a Thursday. We're not going to be doing a show. We're going to be out celebrating with our families. And we hope that each and every one of you are doing the same safely. So we will not have a show July 4th, but we will be back next week. Same Not Your Average Mark time, same Not Your Average Mark channel. Until then, I'm Guapo. That's Mike Caldwell. We're Not Your Average Marks. Catch y'all next time. Yeah.